What if 99.5% of your leads never even touch your phone? This is the reality for real estate investors chasing motivated sellers in 2026. Motivated seller direct mail response sits at 0.5 to 1%, according to Perspective AI research released this year. That means you're mailing 1,000 postcards to get 5 responses. But here's the real problem. Distressed property owners report receiving 20 or more "We Buy Houses" postcards in a single month. Your list isn't unique. Your offer isn't unique. Your timing probably isn't unique either. Most investors are pulling the same data from Connected Investors, PropStream, or Batch Leads. The addresses are identical to your competitors. You're competing on noise, not on insight. The answer is AI-powered seller qualification. Instead of a static address list, you need a system that understands why a seller is motivated before you call them. That's where the conversion gap closes. Let's define what's changed. In 2026 and 2026, the bottleneck was finding addresses. Lists were hard to build. Public records were scattered across county websites. Connected Investors solved that by aggregating property data and building 150-plus filters to target sellers most likely to close fast. But something shifted in 2026. Delinquency rates dropped under 2%, which means distressed lists are thinner than they've been in a decade. The addresses aren't scarce anymore. Genuine seller motivation is. Perspective AI ranked motivated seller platforms for 2026 and found that the winners aren't the ones with the biggest lists. They're the ones fixing qualification. Here's the distinction. A list tool hands you 5,000 addresses. A qualification platform tells you which of those 5,000 sellers who respond are actually ready to move. That distinction is everything. The competition in 2026 isn't over who has the list. It's over who understands the seller first. The bottleneck moved from finding addresses to understanding sellers. This is where AI qualification changes the game. The mechanism is straightforward but powerful. Instead of a form, AI runs a conversational intake. You send a postcard, email, or ringless voicemail. A seller responds. AI answers the call or text instantly, asking about property condition, occupancy status, liens, timeline, and price expectations. If the seller gives a vague answer, AI follows up the way an acquisitions manager would. It doesn't accept "I'm not sure." It drills into specifics. Once the conversation ends, the system extracts quotes, scores the lead, routes hot sellers to your calendar, and drops cold prospects into a nurture sequence. Your CRM is updated before you wake up. V7 Labs research in 2026 found that users closing deals with AI-powered platforms like Resimpli reported 2.3x more conversions than teams using traditional outreach and CRM workflows. Why? Because the system qualifies before you call. You're not spending time on unqualified leads. Direct mail works, but only when it's paired with intelligent qualification. Resimpli's 2026 data showed direct mail was the top lead source across their platform, generating 1,134 closed deals and over $26.6 million in revenue in a single year. Goliath data uses this same principle, surfacing life event data signals that revealed genuine seller motivation in real time. The rule is simple. AI qualification multiplies your close rate on every channel you already use. Here's how to implement this today. Step 1. Pull your list from your existing sources. Connected Investors, PropStream, Batch Leads, Deal Machine. Pick your stack. Don't abandon what you've built. You want 3,000 to 5,000 qualified addresses to start. Step 2. Layer life event data on top. Perspective AI and Goliath data both ingest life event signals. Probate filings, divorce records, tax delinquency, foreclosure status, code violations. These events correlate with seller motivation. This is your qualifying filter. Step 3. Run a conversational intake. Send your initial outreach, postcard, cold email, ringless voicemail, with a clear call to action. When prospects respond, AI handles the first conversation. It asks about property condition, occupancy, timeline, and price. It captures objections and handles them. It books appointments for hot leads. Step 4. Score and segment. Your CRM now has a conversation transcript, extracted property details, seller objection notes, and a motivation score. Route your warmest leads to your calendar. Route maybes to a follow-up sequence. Step 5. Close faster. Your acquisitions team now calls pre-qualified sellers who have already answered your questions and stated their timeline. You're not starting from cold, you're continuing a conversation. The entire process runs 60 to 90 days from list pull to closed deal. Here's a real scenario. An investor in Texas was running a traditional connected investors and prop stream stack. He was pulling 5,000 addresses a month, sending 2,000 postcards, and closing 4 to 6 deals. His cost per deal was north of $3,000. He was stuck. He switched his process. Instead of sending blind postcards, he layered life event data from Goliath data on top of his list. He identified 1,200 addresses with probate or tax delinquency signals, genuine motivators. He sent postcards only to those. When prospects called, AI handled qualification instead of his team. The first conversation extracted property condition, occupancy, timeline, and price expectations. By the time his acquisitions manager called back, the lead was pre-scored. Objections had already been surfaced and addressed in the AI conversation. Within 4 months, his close rate jumped from 0.2% to 0.67%. His deals per month went from 5 to 12. His cost per deal dropped to $1,200. In a year, he closed 47 deals instead of his previous pace of 60 deals annually, but with half the outreach spend and triple the margin per deal. The difference wasn't smarter marketing. It was qualification before conversation. He removed the guessing game. Mistake 1. Treating your list as your moat. Investors often believe the quality of their list is their competitive advantage. It's not. Connected investors, PropStream, and batch leads all license the same public records. Your list is identical to your competitor's list. The advantage is in who you call first and how you qualify them before you call. Stop assuming list quality is your edge. Start understanding that qualification speed is. Mistake 2. Sending blind postcards to 5,000 addresses. Volume feels safe, but it destroys margin and creates noise. Motivated seller direct mail sits at 0.5 to 1% response. Sending 5,000 postcards nets you 25 to 50 responses, most of which are not ready to move. Instead, layer life event data first. Narrow to 1,000 addresses with genuine motivators. Your response rate stays the same, but your qualified conversation rate doubles because you're talking to more intentional sellers. Mistake 3. Handling first conversations manually. Your acquisitions manager doesn't scale. If you're personally taking 50 calls a week to qualify sellers, you're not closing deals. You're stuck in administration. AI handles the first conversation instantly, 24/7, captures specifics, and hands your team only the leads worth their time. Mistake 4. Ignoring direct mail because the response rate is low. Direct mail response sits at 0.5 to 1%, but it's still the highest converting channel when paired with intelligent qualification. Resimpli data showed direct mail generated 1,134 closed deals and $26.6 million in revenue. The channel isn't broken. The qualification process was. Here's the rule you should remember. Qualification multiplies everything. Your list doesn't matter if you can't qualify fast. Your outreach channel doesn't matter if the lead is cold. Your team doesn't scale if they're manually qualifying. Invest in qualification first. List, channel, and team will all amplify. Subscribe for more real estate automation breakdowns.